What's up, everybody? Matt Jinx here, and today I'm going to be talking about what's becoming a lost pattern that I call triplets. Not everybody does triplets. Well, I think everybody does triplets, but they're just not widely used anymore. They're definitely not done in popular music. So I'm going to first explain them on a level for, of course, my young drummers. This video is kind of for my young drummer series, of course. So I'm going to try to keep it as basic as possible in some of my explanations. One of the beats I came up with for one of my young prodigy students, when this kid hits the scene, man, you guys are gonna trip out. This kid he's like 7 years old, and he's got hands of a 18-year-old. I mean, he plays stuff like it's no problem. I show it to him and he just plays it within a couple minutes. He is awesome. One of the beats and fills that I'm going to demonstrate here is one of the ones we came up with in his lesson this week. But then I wanted to also explain triplets to everybody, just because of the other reason that I stated was that triplets just aren't widely used. And everybody's got all these random ways of counting triplets, so I kind of want to narrow that down for everybody. The correct way to count triplets is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all right. Don't use any fruits or vegetables or anything like that. It's 1 and okay. For specific reasons, because like the 1 and those are 8th note triplets, okay, and then when you put 16th notes in between those are like 1 duh and duh, okay, so there are counts for those as well, you know. So you have to use the technical terms, and I'm not a firm believer in dumbing things down for young musicians. I believe it's just best to teach them the right way to count things, the right way to do things. Just show them what it is. Don't tell them it's difficult, and they will get it. And that's the philosophy that I've always used, and it's always worked for me and my students. All right, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, you can use like whole numbers, like in the very beginning, like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, to get them to understand that it's a 3-note grouping. You know, that's legal, I think. I've done that on a number of times, but soon thereafter it's always 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you know, the sooner they can understand that, the better. All right, so then you want to get them to understand that, you know, it's a 3-note grouping. It's going to alternate on every beat, you know, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, you know, and get them to be able to count that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and you know, and if they, you know, have trouble with that, just have them count 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. And that way they can easily see that every time they get to a 1, it's going to be on the opposite hand, okay? So that helps them to understand that it's going to alternate every beat, okay? You know, so you can start with, you know, a basic beat of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and So then it's just a matter of, throwing in different beats on the different rhythms, on the different counts, and finding music and having them listen to that music that's in triplet form, okay, so that they can hear, how those rhythms mix, okay, how they mix and how they fit together. Find them some blues. Any kind of rhythm and blues is usually in triplet form, so they can start to feel the here, I'll slow it down. You'd be like, something real bluesy. Hear stuff like that. Okay, so by the time you get done through with all of that, and give them exercises in triplets. The more you expose young students to triplets, the more they get used to them, and then it's not such a rare thing anymore. So when you go, hey, let's play a song in triplet, they're like, hey, okay, here we go. All right, so. As far as playing different patterns in with a one-hand pattern on the hi-hat, understand that you can also play a triplet pattern with two hands on the hi-hat. But sometimes it's cool to play double strokes, because if you do, like one in the understand that your left hand, if you keep it all single strokes, your left hand would probably have to play the snare drum note. Patterns like too fast to play with one hand. But what I would do, I would play doubles on my hi-hat, so I could play all of them on my right hand, so I don't have to risk cracking myself in the arm or anything with my left stick. Yeah, it becomes a little tricky when you start mixing like really syncopated rhythms on your foot, though. Can't think about what I want to do. Songs that run the same hand in a row. Okay, you have to do a couple singles in there. See that? That's why it's important to learn your paradiddles, so you can understand and be able to go through back and forth easily between single strokes and double strokes. And you never have to go back to the hi-hat. That's what I was trying to do. I thought I had to go back to the hi-hat, but you don't. matter of practicing right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, which is still a 3-note grouping, of course. Okay, and I guess you also have to not be bothered by doing that double and doing that bass drum note on the third note of the triplet on the duh. What and duh. What and duh. I've been doing that forever. I never really thought about it. I just really separate the hand and the foot, and I just listen to make sure they're together. They always happened at the same time. It was never a problem for me. I never worried about playing those two together. You know, my left hand and my left foot, it just never bothered me. I do try to show that to lots of students, and they do have a real trouble with that because they're, I guess, still in the development stages of playing their right hand or their left hand with their foot. So when I tell them to do doubles on their left hand, or, you know, on either hand while playing a note on their bass drum, it's like they look at me like I'm speaking German. So I guess make sure that you're at least to the point where you're comfortable with doing at least singles on your hands. So when you do like doubles, you still have at least a shot at doing it. All right. So this is the beat that my student and I came up with. He'll remain nameless for now. Okay. So this is the beat that I came up with him. See if I get it right. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to nick that cymbal there. And that's the lick that we came up with. Granted, again, this kid's 7 years old. That's the lick. It's like, because it's triplet, it's right in between like a single stroke 4 and a herta with a tap after it. Like, it's not that rigid. It's not, and it's not quite round as a single stroke 4. It's somewhere in between, okay? And you have to understand that, because if you play either one, it's not going to sound right, okay? Because it's got to be in that triplet groove. It's got to bounce a certain way, like. Playing it that fast. It was hardest part that he was running into was getting from beat 1, you know, the measure that the lick is in, which that lick takes the whole bar 4, the whole 4th measure of the phrase, getting from beat 1 into the lick, because the lick starts right away on the 2nd note of the triplet. It's almost like a diddle. You got to pull with your right arm. You got to pull your right arm back, like from your elbow. It's almost like playing a diddle. And if you use your fingers, you know, because I said it's like a diddle, you know, once he understood that, he had it. It was fine. He was cool. He was just and right around the drums, and he was gone. You know, he sat and did that a couple of times, and he was cool. Once you're past that, it's just a matter of playing the rest of the lick. Okay? I mean, so it's that easy. And you just have 2 notes on the floor tom. So you have 1, 2, 3 of those, and then 2 notes on the floor tom. All right, cool. So then you could also play it on the ride cymbal. When you do it on the ride cymbal, because you have to come this way, you know, and it's a diddle, but it's a big diddle. You know, so here it's more of a sweep, you know. Starts with the right hand. So then I told him, I said, well, maybe just instead of doing single strokes, do a left hand drag and then do single strokes around the toms. So, like this. And he went, oh, okay. And away he went. This kid cracks me up every week. Every week he just kills me. Play the whole beat a little bit faster, you know, and then of course you don't have to do that fill all the time. You can mix those fills up. You know, you could do, there you go. Then I showed him this one. your right hand is always playing accents. And you see your left hand only does every other one. When you're moving, it sounds really cool. Throw a couple hertzes in there. Have fun with it. Don't forget the good old-fashioned open hi-hat. That's why triplets are more fun, because triplets are more open. Because it's only 3 notes per beat. You know, if you're in duple, you know, straight time, everything's a little tighter because you have the 16th notes there, so the space is a little more crunched together. You know, triplets, it's a little more open, so you have a little more freedom to, you know, mix stuff up. You know, so the more you know, the more you can mix stuff up and throw stuff in there. You know, so, you know, practice your triplets. Really, and practice keeping time with your hi-hat while you're doing it. You know, there's nothing wrong with doing your feet on quarter notes and doing triplet hand-to-hand accent, and just move your right hand over to your ride cymbal. That's a drum beat. You know, it's just that your hands are split up instead of on the same surface. It's the same thing. You know, so yeah, you can play triplets all day, just because they're so much fun. There's so many combinations and variations to them, and yeah, triplets are good to do. All right, so do all that, have fun, and keep drumming.